welcoming you to chair yoga, whether you're here with me live today or watching the recording. Last week, our first session, we worked on grounding, and I think it's a good idea to start every session with some grounding. So the way in which I do this and share with you is very, very simple. I just bring my feet onto the ground, and I might bring a little bit more awareness into my feet, maybe by moving them if I felt like moving my feet. Even if you've got your shoes on, you can still kind of wiggle your toes around a little bit, rock forward, rock back, and then planting those feet on the ground, resting the hands in the lap, maybe just rubbing the tops of the thighs like, I am here, I am present. And then I'll sit up nice and tall, maybe roll my shoulders up, back and down a couple times, kind of loosen up, because I would like to start with some belly breathing today. So if there's any part of the body that needs a little attention before we dive in, taking that moment to take care of yourself. And please know throughout our whole class today, you are your own best teacher and guide. So take care of you. If you need to get something, if you need to stop, if you need to amp it up, it's all on the plate. So for my belly breathing, I'm going to actually just rest my hands on my belly. So for some reason, I seem to really hold my belly in a lot. Maybe it's this idea that I feel like I have to look skinny all the time, or maybe it's just this sort of anxiety, of this world we're living in. It's kind of hard to feel safe sometimes. I'm going to invite you to just let the belly soften, right? Just let the belly hang out. It doesn't matter what it looks like. It only matters that there is room for you to breathe. So I just have the hands here, but if it feels awkward to have the hands on your belly, you can always just place them in your lap. And so now I'll invite you to take a few breaths. And maybe you can just gently observe if the belly's moving at all. And if it's not, that's okay. You're not doing it wrong. Just want to sort of see if I can feel anything at all moving into my belly. Any breath expanding my belly. Maybe my eyes are closed or my gaze is softened. And you could imagine your belly filling up like a balloon without too much forcefulness. And then slowly letting the balloon deflate as you squeeze the belly in lightly. So just taking a few belly breaths like that, filling up your balloon, and then deflating the balloon slowly with control. And maybe taking one more like that. So that's just a really simple, gentle introduction to belly breathing. And you might want to know why. Why? Why belly breathing? Why am I all over? Why am I on about this belly breathing? Well, this belly is really, really important for bringing space for your diaphragm to move. When you breathe in, this is a representation of the diaphragm, the muscle used for breathing. When you breathe in, the diaphragm pushes down and it's got to have somewhere to go. If you're squeezing it in, you're having this resistance, the muscles pushing up against the diaphragm, and there's nowhere for the breath to go. So as we breathe in, we're letting that belly expand out. As we breathe out, we're letting the diaphragm come back up and the muscles just relax. So that's just my little belly breathing moment. The reason why you want to do this: calming, relaxing, and very, very good for immune system health. Because when you push the diaphragm up and down like this, you're inviting movement into the lymph fluid, so the lymph can travel back up to the thymus gland. So those are some reasons to do belly breathing. If you would like to explore a couple more belly breaths now that you know the reasoning behind it, and you could maybe even envision your diaphragm plunging down and reaching back up, you can take a few breaths, just letting that belly fill and releasing, letting the belly fill and releasing. So we're going to let ourselves go with the flow today. If any feelings arise, we're going to sit and breathe with them. We're going to allow ourselves simple pleasures. Okay, so just a few little things little seeds to plant on the way. So I'm going to start with some space between my feet. And I've taken my blocks to the side. Lots of space between my feet. We're going to start right off with our stirring of the pot today. So I've got my feet wide and my toes pointed out to the side. And I'm just going to invite some movement here. Maybe I can feel my sit bones. Bless you, rooting down. Maybe this is a really slow movement, or maybe I'm feeling really energetic and I want to go faster. And maybe it's helpful not to look at the screen and just to feel what your body feels like and make any other movements. Maybe there's something else your body wants to do. So we can use this time not to work, but to play, right? Let the bodies move how they want. And in doing so, perhaps we can release tension and any feelings that might need to come out. All right. Beautiful, guys. Now from here, I'm going to go ahead and bring my arms out to the sides. My elbows are bent and I'm feeling really strong and stable by rooting my feet down and hugging the muscles along my arm bones, pulling my belly up and in. Here I am in my goddess shape, rooting down into the earth, rising up through the upper torso. And I'll just take a big breath in, big breath out. Big breath in, let the belly fill. Big breath out. And one more like that. And then I'm going to give myself a hug here, one elbow on top of the other. Right, and welcoming you. I think that's Jean, yeah? Give me a wave if that's, yeah. Okay, good. We'll catch up at the end of class, okay? And then I'm going to open my arms out to the sides, take up lots of space, give myself another hug, other arm on top. I deserve pleasure in life, right? I'm giving myself a hug. We'll go ahead and open up, other arm on top. And it's just work for me to keep my legs like this, right? Inhale, open wide, arms out to the sides. Give yourself the last hug for a little while. That's good, Pat. And then we'll release the hands back into the lap, and I'll go ahead and bring my feet back to neutral. Yeah, that's good, Bill. So let's bring the arms at the sides and we're going to roll the shoulders up, back and down. Looks like we need to loosen some shoulders. How about 10 of these? So maybe 7 more. Shoulders up, back and down as you breathe, just arriving in whatever state of being you're in. That's good, Leslie. And you could come the other direction if you finish your 10. Maybe we do 10 in the other direction. If that would feel okay, right? Knowing that you, of course, are always your own best guide, as I mentioned. All right, and then from here, I'm going to lift my arms up. My palms are spread nice and wide. I'm rooting down through my feet. And then I'm going to flick my fingers across my palms like I'm flicking water off my fingertips. And this seems like nothing, right? It's nothing. And then we keep doing it and we get faster and we start to feel the effort. My shoulders are soft. I'm breathing. That's good. Maybe we get faster. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. Let the arms dangle. So you feel that vitality, that energy in your hands, that vibration in your hands. Shake the wrists out. And then I'm going to lift my arms up again. Okay, so taking care. This feels like too much. And I'll start to swish my wrists out to the sides. Like I'm kind of telling something to go away. And it's maybe a nice slow swish, or maybe it gets a little faster. This one feels harder for me. I don't know about you. It feels a little harder for me as I swish a little faster. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Nice job, guys. And Leslie, I can't keep up with you today. It must be all that Michigan coffee, right? Feeling good. You're ready to rock. A little briskness in the air. All right, now I'm going to lift my right arm up and scoop underneath with the left arm. Draw the arm across the body. Keep that right shoulder nice and low, and then you could tilt the shoulder away from or towards, tilt the ear away from or towards the other shoulder. Just kind of feel what you feel. Maybe you want to hang out in one area and breathe, listening, finding some stillness. And then we'll go ahead and switch sides when you're ready. Left arm lifts, scoop underneath, draw the arm across the body, keeping that left shoulder nice and low. And then if it's in your practice today, you could tilt the head in one direction or the other. Breathing. All right, and then bringing the hands to the lap. I'm going to bring some movement into my spine, waking up the spine, cat-cow. Okay, so we do this every time. I'll turn to the side so you can see me a little bit better. All I'm doing is arching and rounding my back, arching and rounding my back. Please take care if you have osteoporosis, not to round really aggressively. So I'll start by straightening my arms, pulling my belly in, tucking my chin, and then lifting my heart, inhaling. See if you can just time the movement with your breath, infusing the movement with your breath. Waking up the spine. Maybe taking one or two more cat-cows, right? If you miss this and you really need it, you can keep going. And then I'll come to sit up nice and tall, and I'll stretch my right arm up into the air. Stretch that right arm up into the air, maybe grab onto the chair with the other hand, and rooting down through my right sit bone, I'm going to start to stretch to the left and feel that length. Breathing in, maybe I can touch those clouds in the sky. Breathing out, rooting down. Breathing in. Breathing out. So good, guys. Releasing and switching sides. Left arm lifts. Root down through the left sit bone and reach over to the right side, lengthening. Maybe reaching out for that beautiful star in the sky. And releasing. And you might take one more on each side. Maybe we don't hold as long. Maybe we just kind of gracefully move a little bit here. Good, and then we're gonna release back to center and play a little bit. So I'm gonna bring some space back between my legs. I'm right at the edge of my chair, and my arms are out to the sides, and I'm gonna open my arms wide, and I'm gonna take my arms up overhead and bring my hands back to center. Interlace your fingers, press the palms away, round the back a little bit. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, release the arms out to the sides. Come back to your hands at heart center. Good. Interlace the palms, push the palms away, round the back. Inhale, stretch tall. Exhale, release down, and hands coming back to heart center. Just for a moment, breathing. What is your intention today? Something simple. Maybe it's I move easily and effortlessly. I'm allowed to have feelings. Just some thoughts for this beautiful day we're having. And then from here, I'm going to bring my hands down, and I'm going to lift one arm up and over. The other arm can kind of hook under, and I'm going from side to side, rooting down through both sit bones, right? So taking care, if you're feeling any discomfort in the back and the low back, Breathing in, breathing out. All right, guys, feels like we're getting a really nice stretch for the side body today. One more. All right, all right. Bring my sound like Matthew McConaughey when I say that. Sorry. I'm gonna bring my right foot, my right leg over to the right side. My knee is bent, my foot is planted, and with my left leg, I'm gonna see if I can maybe straighten this leg behind me with the hips pointed to the side here. So I'm doing a lunge in my chair. And if this feels like too much, please modify. Please find another way to do something that does feel okay. It's okay if your knee stays bent. What I'm looking for is just a little stretch in this left hip area. Okay, so Jean, if maybe that's too much, you know, I can't see your bottom half, but I do see your face. So maybe it's just a little too much. But from here, I might lift my left arm up and make some arm circles. Breathing in, arms rise up and over. Maybe you move in the other direction. That's good, Judy. So it is so much better in person. We can move our arms at the same time. Good, and then maybe we just keep that arm lifted, keep the gaze straight ahead. Take a big breath in and release. Good, good, good. Now we're just gonna move to the other side. Maybe you take a little stir of the pot on the way there. Yeah, so we'll figure this out, Jean. Don't worry so much. We'll figure it out, okay? And then I'm gonna bring the left foot over to the left side. So I'm kind of off the edge of my chair here, if you can see. I'm kind of, this right leg can scoot behind me. Maybe I'm holding onto my chair just so I feel safe. Feels like a good stretch for this right hip. And then I'll swoop my right arm up, breathing in, exhaling the arm back behind me. Inhale, exhale. Maybe you start to move the arm in the other direction. Like I imagine I'm playing this giant air guitar, right? Strumming my air guitar. And then maybe you want to keep that arm lifted, open the heart, breathe. And then releasing back to center. So that's a lot on the hips, right? Am I right? Does that feel good on the hips? I mean, yes, I know most of you can probably do a lunge in standing, but there's something about doing it in the chair that allows me to open a little bit more. I'm not putting so much stress on the joint. So that's why I wanted to share that with you today. Let's move through some sun salutations. So I'll do the first one really slow for those of you who maybe aren't used to these quite yet. And before we do though, let's try a little forward fold. So I'm gonna take super good care of my back if I have low back issues. So that's you, Pat, right? I hope you don't mind me calling you out. You might not even really move that far forward at all. If you have glaucoma, if you have osteoporosis, all these fun things, right? Maybe you don't fold all the way, but if it feels good, you could release and do a forward fold to whatever degree feels safe for you. Now I'm caring for my back, so I stay somewhat lifted. But forward folding can feel really good if it works for your body. Don't forget to breathe. And then we'll come up nice and slow. All right, you guys feel okay? Thumbs up. All right, thumbs up, thumbs up. We're gonna move through some sun salutations. And the reason I did a forward fold is so we know how far feels safe before we just start doing it. So with our chair sun salutation, great thing to do, even if you can do a mat sun salutation. Gets my energy moving, gets my lymph fluid moving, important for immune system health. I'll start in my seated mountain pose. So feet on the ground, arms at the sides, everything is zipped up. And I'll inhale my arms out and up. And then I'll take a swan dive forward as far as feels safe. Coming up to whatever degree feels safe, and then arms will reach straight out in front. So this is our kind of chair pose. I pull my belly up and in. It's hard work, so take good care. Arms will rise all the way up. We'll swing the arms back behind me, grab onto my chair. Inhale, lift the heart. So I'm in like a cobra pose. And then reaching forward once again, hinging at the hips, pull that belly in. Inhale, arms rise and hands come to heart center. So that's one sensation. We're going to do two more. Let's move with a breath. And if it's too much, just sit and breathe. You guys are doing great though. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, reach the arms out. Maybe you wiggle the fingers. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, swing the arms back. Inhale, puff up the heart and belly, arching the back. Exhale, reach forward. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands to heart center. Great job. One last one. If it's in you, breathe in, arms rise. Breathe out, fold forward. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, reaching forward. Inhale, arms rise. You've got it, Jean. Beautiful. Exhale, arms coming back behind you. Grab onto your chair. Inhale, puff up the heart and belly. Exhale, reach forward one last time. Good. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands to heart center. Just rest a moment. Hands at the heart. Maybe you can revisit your intention, whatever it may be today. Just allowing that to bubble up. And then your mind's eye, perhaps you can envision our other chair yogis today in our class. I'm just sending a little bit of love out to each other so that we can feel each other's energy and create community. So just sending a little bit of a hello out there into the chair yoga ether. And I'll rub my hands together and place my hands in my lap, getting ready to stand up for a few standing postures. So if it's in your practice, you can stand with me. If you don't feel like doing this today and you want to stay seated, sitting and belly breathing, great idea. Okay, so I'm going to transition mindfully and slowly, lifting up, standing up in whatever way feels safe to me. And I could readjust whatever I need to. I could grab a sip of water, sip of coffee, just figuring out what this new situation is like. All right, and then I'm going to come to the back of my chair. And with my hands on the back of my chair, I'll once again invite you to notice your feet. These blocks at the end of your legs. You could pick up the toes, spread them nice and wide, plant the toes back down again. You do that a few times, kind of play around with your toes. Last week we did a lot of toe exercises. I hope that you were able to revisit them. So you could play around with what the toes feel like doing right now. Then we're going to rise up onto the tiptoes, right? Only if this feels okay for you, and release back down. So if you don't want to rise up because you have any weakness in the feet, you could just stick with the toe exercises. I might lift up onto my tiptoes and see how slowly I could come back down. I might be working towards taking one or both hands off the chair. Breathing in, breathing out, that's good. Breathing in, breathing out. Maybe one arm travels out to the side and reaches back down, and you could switch. One arm traveling out to the side, coming back down, just showing you. Breathing in, maybe both arms lift if you're feeling stable today. Feeling this playful movement, whatever my body wants to do. That's good, Bill. Maybe we take one more float. And I'll stretch my back a little bit. This always feels so good to me, but if for any reason it doesn't feel great to you, you could modify in any way. So I'm moving into my downward facing dog using the chair. My arms are somewhat straight. I'm folding as deeply as feels safe for me. If I have really tight hamstrings today, I might bend my knees a little bit. If I get dizzy easily, maybe I keep my head lifted. See if you can breathe just right into the back of the body, right? All of that beautiful surface area. Like if I had my hand on your back and you were trying to lift my hand up with your breath. And there I am, just imagine me patting you on the back. You are doing such a great job today with our class. And then we'll come up nice and slow. I'll walk towards my chair and we'll revisit a few poses we did last week and then we'll add a few more. So I'm going to step my right foot forward, my left foot back at a little bit of an angle, and you can see my hips are pointed towards my chair here as I bend and straighten into my right knee. And I'm just taking care to find a solid foundation, a solid stance here. And then when I do, I'll keep my knee bent. And I'll kind of squeeze my left glute muscle a little bit to stabilize the hips. And then you could lift, maybe it's just the left arm today. Maybe you feel like lifting both arms. You feel solid. Sometimes I feel a little balance challenged here. So doing what feels best. That's good. Breathing. Feeling your warrior one, the strength moving through your body. And then we'll release the arms down nice and slow. And I'm going to hop my back foot forward a little bit. So I've straightened both legs and shortened my stance. And I'm going to bow forward and place my forearms on the back of my chair, if that feels okay for you. Maybe you can go a little farther. I'm pushing into both feet and pulling my belly towards my spine. It's very easy for me to sort of just fall into this lordotic curve of my back, you know. I'm kind of just messing around with what feels best for me as I peek down towards the right foot. And then as you're ready, you could make your way up. Does that feel like an okay stretch? You feel like you got a little stretch here in the back of the right leg? Yeah, thumbs up, thumbs up. So now I'm going to place the weight in my right foot, and I'm just going to float my left leg up and come back down. Float my left leg up and come back down. Maybe it's just a tiny little lift, right? Tiny little lift. Got my hands on my chair. Feels like some work for the back, right? Strengthening the back. Good, maybe there's just one more lift. And then we're coming back to downward facing dog. Find your breath. And then as you're ready, make your way up. And you could go ahead and just step that left foot forward. Turn the right foot out at a little bit of an angle. We're bending and straightening into the left knee for warrior one on this side. It's nice to have the support of the chair, but if you don't need it, that's okay. I like it. I like the chair. It makes me feel more grounded, right? And I'm gonna squeeze my right glute muscle, and I'm gonna lift my right arm up. And maybe I hold here, just find my breath, find my gaze. Maybe the left arm feels safe lifting too. Yeah, that's good stuff. Finding your breath. Beautiful, Joe. Feeling your strength. And you got it, Emily. As you're ready, slow release the arms down. I'm gonna hop my back foot forward a little bit. Both legs are straight and I've shortened my stance, and I'm gonna take a bow over my chair. Just resting my forearms there and feeling what feels best for me. I got a nice flat back for this one. If I have a little farther to travel, maybe I can make some adjustments. Yeah, it's interesting. We all have these different kinds of chairs, and some of them are more or less conducive to chair yoga. It's good. Make do with what we have. And I'm seeing a lot of wooden chairs, which are really nice, really, really nice. So I'm going to come up nice and slow, and I'll start to pour the weight into my left foot. I'm just going to pick up my right leg and bring it back down. Maybe it's a tiny little float. Take good care. That's a good pat, just lifting that right leg up. Maybe it's just a little few inches off the ground. Maybe the toe can point down, Emily. Yeah. So, I mean, that's another whole thing where the hip is open, right? If you've got the foot out to the side, we're just looking to kind of strengthen the back and the glute muscle. Good. And then I'm coming back to another downward facing dog. You guys are working so hard today. It's great. We'll take a couple breaths here. Just breathing into the back, seeing if maybe this downward facing dog feels a little bit easier now that we've done a few of them. Big breath in, big breath out. One more breath in, breath out. As you're ready, making your way up, taking your time, taking a sip of water if you need it. We'll find our standing mountain pose. We'll meet me in mountain pose. Maybe the hands are resting at the sides. But can you feel this energy coming up into your legs, into the core, with the shoulders softened, the chin level with the earth? Last week we did a few lengthy mountain poses. So I'll invite you to take this pose with you into your week and see if you could practice mountain pose in a normal everyday life situation where you're standing and waiting for something or someone or talking to someone. And they might notice that you look really beautiful in your posture and ask why. And you could just say, it's mountain pose. All right, guys, very nice. So now I'm gonna take a little bendy bounce to my knees, and I'm gonna bring my feet together. And I might need to grab onto my chair as I set up for my balance beam. Let's step the left foot in front of the right foot today. I'm going to take a soft bend to both knees. Weight is in both feet. And then all I'm doing is seeing if maybe I can lift both hands for a millisecond as I walk the wire. Right? Maybe you need a little more space between the feet. That's totally fine. Maybe you need to keep the hand on the chair. This feels really easy. Try moving the eyes only to the left or right, center, and the other side. See what impact that has on your balance, right? And if you wobble and fall out of it, great, I say. That means you are challenging your balance. The only way we can improve it is to challenge it. All right, when you're ready to switch sides, kick it out a little bit. Boogie down a little bit. You're like, what is she doing? I wonder. I got to go back and look. Yeah. And then we'll switch it up. Feet together. It's good. Step that right foot in front. A little soft bend to the knees. Weight in both feet. Arms are out to the sides. Good. So we're just standing in our balance beam. You've got the hand on the chair if you need it. If this feels like enough effort for you, you could stay here, or you could try moving the whole head from side to side, right? We're working on balance. Maybe one hand stays on the chair. You're taking care of you, like I said. Maybe balance feels challenged today, and that's okay. All right, and then we're releasing out of your balance beam on the second side and just walking it out Maybe there's a little shimmy in your step and you want to boogie down with me. Maybe you're just feeling kind of a little low energy today, and that's fine. And I want to suggest one really, really fun thing that you're going to think I'm totally crazy. I don't care. You could think I'm crazy. Let me be that crazy yoga teacher. So I'm going to hold in my mind's eye the image of one of those car dealership wind socks. You see the man that, they kind of flow around with the wind. Okay, so I want you to just take your gaze away from the screen and imagine the wind has come and it's just blowing you around. So we're just playing, right? Maybe there's a little wider stance with the feet, and we're imagining that you are the windsock, moved by the wind, just playing, having fun, releasing your inner child a little bit. And then maybe the wind dies down and the wind comes back, right? And we're just moving and flowing. Doesn't matter what it looks like. Maybe one more breath or two of windsock. Yes, really nice. And then we'll come back up to stand. Really nice. And so great timing, Anne, for joining us, because I'm really glad you got to do the windsock. It's okay, don't worry about it. So we're going to take a lot of space between the feet now. Lots of space between the feet. Nice wide stance. I'm going to shift my right toes to the right and angle my left foot in and bend into my right knee. Right, so I'm in a warrior two foot stance. My hips are kind of sort of facing my chair. And then I'll lift my right arm over my right knee. And I might shift my gaze over my right hand. If this feels good and I want to stay here, great. If I feel solid in my balance, maybe that left arm reaches behind me. Remembering my intention or creating an intention if I haven't set one today. And then we'll flow a little bit. So right hand flips, the palm flips towards the sky. And we're just going to slowly bring this left hand down, right arm lifting, reversing the warrior, and then coming back to warrior two. You could always rest the hand on the chair. That's good, Joe. Really, really good. Reverse the warrior. Right arm lifting up, left arm going to the chair if need be. Coming back to warrior two, and we'll take one more, just floating the body up. And releasing the hands to warrior two, and then down to the back of the chair. And I'll turn all 10 toes towards my chair and take a couple little hip circles, imaginary hula hoop, slow motion hula hoop. It's funny, I've been teaching a chair yoga class that's 45 minutes. And it's so it was so challenging at the beginning to fit everything I wanted to fit into 45 minutes. And now I'm like, all right, I still have all this time. This is great. So let's turn the left toes to the left. You guys are doing great. Angle that right foot in a little bit, and we're going to bend into the left knee. Right? If you have knee issues, you want to soften this bend a little bit. Maybe you don't want to lock the back knee. Yeah, so Helena taking good care of those knees today. Maybe that left arm can reach straight over the left knee. If you're feeling safe, stable, maybe the right arm reaches behind you. Right? Maybe you need to do a few little shoulder rolls to get that shoulder. You could always keep the right hand on the right hip. Okay. Yeah, we're just gazing over that left hand and maybe repeating our intention internally. And then as you're ready, we'll flip that left hand, trace the sky, inhale, reverse the warrior. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, warrior two. And one last time, inhale. And exhale. Release the hands down. All 10 toes to the back of the chair. Maybe you take one or two more little hip circles. All right, guys. And then I'll come to the side of my chair and we'll practice one more standing pose, and then we'll sit down. We'll start to wind down a little bit. So Flamingo Pose. We know this one. This is simply standing on one leg, taking care if you've got issues that, if you have arthritis or something going on in the joints, maybe you don't hold this as long. So little bendy bounce. Weight will come into the right foot. I'll pick up my left heel. Right. Maybe I'll lift the foot up completely and hug it in towards the other leg. So it's one big tree trunk. I'm just working on finding my edge. Finding my edge. Maybe I'm feeling really solid today. Maybe it's a little shaky today. Observing your own state of balance, finding your breath. If it's really, really easy, close your eyes. See what happens. Maybe you can find 2 more breaths, 1 more breath. It's good, Emily. And release. So good, guys. Kick it out a little bit, and then we're going to switch sides. Little bendy bounce, weight in that left foot. Yeah, take your time. This has been we've been challenging ourselves today in this class. Weight will come into that left foot. We'll pick up the right toe. Maybe the foot comes off the ground entirely. Hug it in. One tree trunk. Think one tree trunk. Right? Weight in that right foot. Doing what feels best for you. Maybe you have support on both sides. Good, Joe. Take your time. If it's easy, you want more challenge, close your eyes. Find your breath. I feel my legs are really working here. Breath in. Breath out. It's good. And then we'll release and kick it out. And any other little movements the body's asking for. Maybe Windsock Man comes back for a moment. And then we're going to come to sit, right? So you can make any other movements on the way there. Yes, Leslie, I'm coming to your house to boogie down sometime, if you will let me. So coming to sit is another opportunity to be mindful, to slow down, to never be in a hurry. So I take my time. And I might grab a sip of water on the way. And then we'll take a moment to check in with our bodies, with our energy level. So I'll just rest my hands in my lap. And just like we did at the beginning of class, I'll bring a little bit of awareness to my belly, letting the belly soften on my in-breath, soften and fill on my in-breath. And on my out-breath, maybe just sort of lightly zipping it up. Breathing in, breathing out. And noticing if maybe you feel like you are taking a little bit of a deeper breath now that we've moved. We've moved and stretched a bit. All right, so let's come to our hip stretch now. I'm going to cross my right ankle over my left knee. And even just doing this, I feel like, oh boy, do I ever need to stretch this part of my body, So maybe you get here and this is kind of enough. Maybe while you're here, you want to give the foot a little bit of love. Maybe you can then move towards a little bit of a deeper stretch. I'm going to grab onto my shin. Maybe you've got your knee, whatever's available. And I'm going to inhale, sit up real tall. Exhale, reach forward. Maybe it's only an inch, right? Before I feel that resistance that feels like the place I need to stay and work. So take your awareness there to where you're feeling sensation. That's good. Breathe into it, right? If you experience discomfort in the knee, please come out of it. One thing I do to keep my knee safe is I keep this right foot flexed, and that, kind of engages this shin and disperses the effort. All right, so sitting up tall, cross the leg all the way over. Maybe you can roll this right ankle like you've got all the time in the world. And then we're gonna open the arms out to the sides, right? Feeling the love from the other members of our chair yoga community, feeling it, breathing it in. Exhale, take that little twist to the right. And then we're coming back to center. Inhale. Exhale, twist to the right, using the belly muscles. Inhale back to center last time. Exhale, twist to the right. And this time I'm going to bring my arms down in support of my twist. So just letting the hands land where they may, keeping my nice tall posture, and maybe peeking over that right shoulder. Can you let your shoulders relax? Imagining your insides are like a dish towel being wrung out, and your muscles are the ones working to do this. Come on back to center. And maybe we take a few stir the pot in between sides of those two things. Just stir the pot, nice wide stance. Really getting the sacral area moving and juiced up today. And we'll come back and we'll hit those same two poses on the other side. So I'm going to cross my left ankle over my right knee. Again, taking care if you have knee issues, this foot is going to stay flexed. I mean, you should keep it flexed whether you have knee issues or not. Maybe I give my foot a little love while I'm here. This block at the end of my leg. That's good. And then I'll grab onto my shin or knee, whatever's available. Sit up tall, breathe in. Reach forward, fold forward to whatever degree feels right. I can't tell you what it is. Maybe the side feels more or less challenging. And we're just breathing here, just breathing. It's all good, Jean. All good to have you back. You still have 10 minutes of beautiful wind down time with us. All right, so we're sitting up tall. We're gonna cross that left knee all the way over the right and circle that left ankle. We'll open the arms out to the sides. Feel and receive that love from your other chair yoginis and yogis. Take a breath in. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale back to center. Exhale once again, twist to the left, belly working. And one more time, inhale, center. Exhale, twist to the left, and then now I'll bring my arms down in support of my twist. All right, so wherever they land. Sitting up nice and tall, can you relax your shoulders a little bit? Can you envision that your body's like a dish towel that's wet and needs to be wrung out, and your muscles are doing the work? So if the dish towel is long, it's easier, it's more efficient to wring it out. That's why we sit up tall. And then when we come back to center, all those good juices kind of just flow. And we'll take a big stretch here. Maybe you sit back in your chair, maybe you stretch the legs out. Good, and now I will create a little support for myself. I'm gonna take 2 blocks. If you don't have blocks, you can grab like a couch pillow. Maybe you just watch me this time and see what this is all about. I've got a pillow for my lap. I could get to this 2-block level height and think, oh, that's too much for me, and bring it down a little bit. So I'm just looking for my bound angle or butterfly pose in a chair. And so I like to have a pillow in my lap. It feels really supportive. If your back is kind of feeling like it needs a break, you could slide a pillow behind you and kind of just rest seated back in your chair. I like to stay lifted. It's a little more work. And then I'm going to bring my left hand down, palm facing up, place my right hand on top of that, and let the thumbs touch. So we're in a mudra called Dhyana Mudra, which means meditation. So moving into a little bit of meditation as we feel the chair underneath you. Let the shoulders soften, let the jaw soften. If you felt comfortable doing so, you could close your eyes or just soften the gaze down. And I'm going to ask you again just to bring your awareness to your belly. You're going to let that belly be soft and full. Take some natural, easy breaths in and out. As we come into stillness, it is an opportunity for everything to settle. Right? Imagining you're like a vessel filled with muddy water. When you sit still and you still the mind, all of those heavier particles just sink to the bottom, leaving a clear, almost luminescent interior. Letting yourself experience stillness, letting yourself experience silence. Just staying with posture and breath. Always coming back to posture and breath. If you still feel comfortable the way you're sitting, you can stay. If there's another way you would like to sit for just a little bit longer, if you wanted to take your feet down, place them on the earth, if you wanted to rest your hands in a different way, if you wanted to grab your animal companion for your lap, we're just going to take a few more breaths together into the belly, into the heart, and release. Let's take 5 in a row. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling nose or mouth. Just breathing, inhaling, exhaling. 2 more. Put in 1 more big breath. So good, guys. And I want to share with you a special new toy, or I should say gift or being. I got another bowl, and this note is a C note, and it's a pure C note, which is a rare thing in the world of Himalayan singing bowls. I'll just let you hear that. It's a beautiful low tone. Still learning how to strike it. And then we'll just repeat the seed syllable 4 for this part of the body, we've been working the sacral chakra. So the seed syllable, we've been working up the seed syllables. Last week it was LAM for the root chakra. This week it's VAM, V as in Victor, AM, VAM, kind of in between VAM and VUM somewhere. So we'll just bring the hands to heart center and bringing your awareness to the belly, to the sacrum, and allowing this seed syllable. You could just listen, or maybe you want to chant with me. We'll just take 3 chants of the word VAM. Breathing in. VAM. 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 And thanking you so, so much for your practice today. I hope that you can take some of this with you into your week. I want to offer you a few little takeaway tips from our class today to play, to move the body fluidly, to release tension and emotion, self-massage for nurturing yourself, release your inner child for playtime. Maybe you do the windsock man without me and have fun with that. And then finally, when a feeling arises, allow yourself to sit and breathe with it. Thank you guys so much, and namaste.